Hey guys, Mike again. I thought I would pull out my Tyranids and talk a little bit about them and some of the stuff I do and the list that I kind of try to bring with them. Usually, I do bring a Flying Hive Tyrant. He doesn't have his wings on him because there's only two slots on the sides. And if I put wings on him, I can't actually represent the weapons. You can see he's got a bone sword and a lash whip, and he's got the twin link brain leech. I if I'm running against people who run a lot of flyers, I'll do the two twin linked brain leech things. But I find when I'm rolling on two psychic powers, I end up with a shooting attack that way. So I kind of feel like I'm kind of spinning my wheels if I end up with three shooting attacks. I also usually give him the Hive Commander because I kind of run a deep striking army. So Hive Commander with the +1 to my rolls really helps out, coming in on a 2-up, as well as the one troop choice can outflank. And I'll tell you what I do with that. So I've got my Hive Commander, and I usually will bring one or two Tervigons. They're usually good at objective sitting, as well as spinning out some troop choices for you to kind of move on to more objectives. I'll roll on Biomancy on both of these and choose to have it to be a Psychic Mastery 3 so that it can roll on Biomancy on 3 different times, hopefully getting Iron Arms to kind of help out. I kind of really like that extra thing. I bring two, and if you can see the difference between the two, this one is a Carnifex conversion. He did not turn out very well, but he kind of fits the suits. If you see his underbelly, I kind of green stuffed that, have the guy coming out. And then this is, if you see, you have the guy coming out. He's just a little smaller, a little more mutated. I did go ahead and magnetize these guys to get them in case I choose to do crushing claws in the future with them. So with my Hive Commander, I choose one of these two to be my outflankers, just because one guy sits in the back, spitting out troop choices, sitting and holding objectives. The other guy becomes a threat and starts spitting out babies in their backfield. Really good choices. You should try to outflank with these guys. Good choice. I got a couple Tyranid Primes here in the back. Pretty much, I like them both. I kind of like the Molochs with the just a little bit shorter. Most people can't tell the difference too much, so sometimes I'll run these as a Moloch and do that Strength 6 AP2 large blast in their backfield. That doesn't. It's a really good choice. Otherwise, I'm going to hold them in reserve and have them pop up, get shot out for a whole round, and hopefully not die, because once they get into combat, they're going to be really good choices. Another thing that I bring is I bring Yarmel Gene Stealers, not regular ones, but the Yarmel. I like to bring them in squads of 8. I find that 10 can be a little too hard to place in terrain and will kill things a little too much. So I tend to lose 1 or 2 in Overwatch, leaves me 5 or 6, because I want to go for a troop or a squad when I'm placing them, that I won't kill them outright. I want to go in there. I want to kill most of them, but I want 1 or 2 living so that they finish off the squad in their turn, so I can get out of combat during their turn, so I can charge who I want the next turn. And I find that a squad of 8 is usually pretty good, just because I'll lose a few, and then I move on to the next squad. Really good choice. This is the Zoanthrope that I play as the Doom. Doom is pretty much a standard. You need to bring him, I think, anytime you go ahead and play. He is a great distraction. I've talked about distractions all the time. 3-up invuln. He's going to be sucking people's souls out and all that, and really causing a lot of pain in the backfield unless they take care of him. I bring him in, and I kind of cheat a little bit. I bring him in this drop pod right here. I made it out of a seashell and added a few extra bits and some little things that make him look a little bit more like a monstrous creature. According to the rules, these guys are monstrous creatures. Good thing about them is you land them right next to an objective in the backfield, their backfield, and they will have to deal with him because they can't just leave him alone and let him move the 6 inches away. They're going to have to move it. And I do choose a little bit of a bigger one, as people have seen before. Then you can kind of hide Doom behind him, and that way you can kind of protect him from Meltas coming across the field or some of those strength 8 things that insta-kill him. So I'll drop him in, and I'll put him in a good spot, but I'll try to protect him from shots. The next turn, I know it's kind of unusual. I see people prance him around. I usually lock him in combat with a squad. So he comes in, I'll put him in a decent spot, but I'm really trying to protect him from shots, and then I'm going to charge in, and I'm going to, depending on the squad, I am going to go ahead and lock him in combat as much as possible just to keep him from being shot up in the next turn. And as long his psychic little test that he does, the 3D leadership test, still goes off whether or not he's in combat. I bring a so this is one of the drop pods I made, and these are a couple more. Here's this one. I like these better. They're kind of fun. They fit into a little bit of a better spot, but they don't provide as much cover. You've probably watched some videos where some people bring some really big ones. I've seen them as big as as big as this base. This is a CD on the bottom, but then it's pretty much like straight up and turning it in, and you see those walls with some people that run these drop pod Tyranid list, and they really just build a wall all the way around some armies and do it that way. But I kind of like these because they'll fit in a really tight spot. You have a squad's you can kind of put it right in the middle. It's not going anywhere. Good spot. And of course, you're going to have your little devil gaunts get out of it. I usually run about 15 of them in there, 3 shots each. That's 45 shots. Going to do a good job. When you're positioning them, don't put them too tight together, because almost every army will have a flamer, and then we'll eat them the next turn. So here's another little drop pod. So in a typical 15-point army, I'm going to bring this guy. I'm going to bring my 2 Tervagons, a set of Yarmgarls, either a Prime or a Moloch. Oh, I didn't show you this. When I built this model, this is pretty much a basic model. It's not going to be too bad. What I found with moving it and storing it, magnetize these 2 pieces. That way you don't end up with a big guy. He's a lot easier if you're doing foam or something like that. You don't have to bring like a big 6-inch piece of foam that you can break him into 2 pieces and do that, and it seems to work well. I rather than having that big figure and having to deal with it. So, and then I brought that. I'll bring a squad of Yarmal. I'll bring in a drop pod with the Devil Gaunts and Duma Malatai. That runs about 1,500 points. If I have a little bit extra, I'll bring an extra one of these guys and some more Yarmgarls. So I'll bring 1 Moloch and then 1 Prime, 2 sets of Yarmals, these 2 guys, and this guy. It's not too bad. It'll work out pretty good. Against flyers, you've got your Flying Hive Tyrant that's going to help you out against flyers. And then use your Devil Gaunts if you're going against a flyer list. When you drop them in to get that rear armor and take those snapshots up to the top. If you have any questions, let me know. If you like this video, please subscribe and like this channel. And you guys have a
happy Halloween!